that series win. To Ardian fans, their voices louder and louder as this organization keeps attracting more people to them.
Yeah.
Fantastic run starting off. I mean, you think back to the first day that O2 Ardian had played. Of course, there was already some fans following them through, the
their
qualification.
Online tournaments and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the qualification, any tournaments prior to Contender Season 1, but it certainly has been a very swelling number of people that are showing up to support this squad.
Well, we will see what looks to be Dive coming through here on attack versus the Orisa defense from MVP Space. Stellar will hold the Sombra. This is his iconic hero. Not going to be scouting, will actually be committing to this to try to get an EMP. Translocates in, gets the hack here. This is a very strong map for Sombra.
Yep.
Because there's so many ledges she can get to by Translocator, and she can harass easily on this map. There's so many health packs she can hack. I mean, I don't need to explain it. You guys have played Sombra on this map, you know.
See, Climax's job is trying to distract, gets them off the high ground, forces the Orisa down. Barrier going to be coming through, but O2 Ardian is going to be looking to push in from the left-hand side. Oberon getting shredded down and will get taken out. Climax coming up with the killing blow as Stellar tries to build up for that EMP. Rat Trap going to be getting dropped down into the middle here. Climax wrapping around the sides, picks up the health pack. Violet finding the kill in onto Attune as he's been operating on that Widowmaker. Oberon res back in, but MVP Space suffering too many losses, and now a great flank angle here from Climax. Has that pulse bomb ready to go, but might not even need to commit it here. Could just toss it in onto the tank if he so pleases.
Not even needed.
Doesn't need it. He can just stand still the entire time. Oberon's not paying attention. He's just got too many people around him, and O2 Ardian will very swiftly squeeze their way through here.
Remember, I talked about how we get these interview sheets where the players give us a bit of information about them additionally, and every single player, when they say, like, who do you want to face or who do you really respect, like, Violet's name came up the most.
Stellar just squeezed his way in around this Brigitte, just dodging out the mace. Sorry, that was great.
Violet's name comes up the most, and a lot of people talk about his Widow play, but it never becomes relevant. But here, it certainly is. He gets a pick onto Undyne. They have an EMP. This is not looking good for MVP Space. The Brigitte totally shut down by that EMP.
Yeah, drops it down. Stellar finding the killing blow. Attune is able to trade out Violet here, as he, expectedly should, just given his further experience on the Widowmaker, whereas Violet's been playing the healers this entire time. But see Bianca going to be taken out of the mech. The second tick already coming through for O2 Ardian as they look for a near 6-minute cap. Will keep peeling back here for the moment. They force out that Transcendence from Undyne. Yakfeng in onto the point. Primal Rage coming in. Going to get locked up. The shield's done. Rain taken out. No healer available here for O2 Ardian, so likely going to be having to kite back. Push around the side. Point blank.
Finally shuts Violet down. Attune's mad. Gets in there. But this is nothing short, Achilleos.
Oh, okay.
This is nothing short of humiliation on the side of MVP Space. They've got to feel a bit disrespected. Violet will finally switch back to the Zenyatta, and we will have Stellar back to the Hanzo we expected to see. The EMP opening gets them 2 ticks, and they start off with a fantastic time bank. They've got to go back to something a little bit more real here now, after the initial shock has worn off for MVP Space. Yaki's still on this Brigitte, game armor with the rally.
Yeah, a solid amount, but actually Undyne losing out onto his. That's one of the most crucial members to eliminate that armor from. And Fuse also not going to be having it anymore. Now just Attune sitting in the back. He's going to be the only one maintaining that rally armor. Climax, awkward spot, dashes back to the side, keeps himself alive and in the fight. As there's still 4 minutes 45 on the clock here for O2 Ardian, a massive time bank still.
For MVP Space, this is not how they wanted it to end. Undyne gets a pick on the Stellar here. That's a huge start here for this first real push, you could say, for O2 Ardian, but they still control the high ground, which means Climax is going to get up here. He's going to have the Infrasight as well.
Oh, but Yaki taken out here by Climax. Stellar looking to snipe, looking to knock Bianca out of the tank, but she'll just go ahead and do it for him. Tosses out the self-destruct, but not going to be finding anything. In the meantime, Oberon diving into the back, finds Climax. Rain maybe not in a position to go in for the res. As O2 Ardian are still in for the fight here. Violet has that Transcendence ready to go, but Yakfeng, he's going to die with that Primal Rage ready to go, and Attune finds a pick off onto Stellar. O2 Ardian, they did commit this Transcendence, but you can see, they don't have that many people playing for it. No one really to protect Violet. The pocket from Rain not going to be enough, and Baba taken out of the mech. Self-destruct invested into this one, manages to find a pick off onto the Genji, and they're so close to getting this cap now, 93.3%. Attune finds Climax, Rain goes down, and O2 Ardian might have been held at bay.
A little bit surprised they
still
commit
coming
this.
back in. Yeah, the Primal Rage will be used, but he's going to have to use it to exit.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. I think O2 Ardian's eye is bigger
A rare
than their
disconnect.
stomach here. Yeah, that was a little bit out there. They're going to tick back down to the second tick. Sure, they got up to 97.4, so still a big win for them, but they could have had a much better situation with better ultimates if they held the Primal Rage. Attune got line of sight advantage, and they were playing as if he didn't. Yaki's built up to a Dragon Blade now as well, and they have support ultimates just around the corner. O2 Ardian at huge ult disadvantage now. They saw blood in the water. They wanted to just fire up and take that point, but the Primal Rage especially was the most egregious usage, unfortunately, for Yakpung here. So they have Dragon Strike, but nothing to pair with it, so it's going to be used mostly for zoning here. Sonic Arrow going to come out shortly, you have to imagine, so they can try to best aim this. And this is going to be a push that's an eco push, as Papa coined it, where they try to build ultimates. If they commit heavily in, it's not going to be successful unless MVP Space makes a huge mistake. They already have vision advantage with this Infrasight and the Dragon Blade. This can both gain them their ultimates as well as waste ones on MVP Space. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, no Transcendence. They're not going to be able to mitigate the Dragon Blade. Yaki pick his opportunity well in the meantime. Let's see, Attune going to get taken down on Yaki. He's going to die before he can even use the ultimate. O2 Ardian getting ready to push forward. Climax under fire. Just trying to play up on top of these shelves, but will get taken down by Oberon eventually. As Bianca falls. Taken out as he tried to use the self-destruct. Manages to get the pick off there onto Stellar, and Climax is res back in, so now not going to have that Hanzo, and Violent will die after the Transcendence expires. Yaki still has not used that Dragon Blade, and now has a bigger window to use it, as Violent is so far away from that ult.
That was really close, actually. They almost ended up just stepping off the point there while the Pilot Diva was on top during the self-destruct. They do defend. They have the faster respawns. O2 Ardian making another switch. Stellar to the Brigida now. Again, no support ultimates, unfortunately, and Yaki still holds the blade. So Stellar will have to be positioned well to counter it. That's why the switch comes through. They know the blade is available. If he's killed before the blade goes off, then it's going to be a lot easier for Yaki to do a lot of damage.
Yep.
Let's see, here it comes.
Yeah, he's got this one drawn out. 9 HP, and he's not going to get a damn thing with it. Attune and Yaki both going down. No DPS available here from the side of MVP Space, and Fuse won't even get the opportunity to throw down a res. The shift here from Stellar taking him out. Bianca knocked out of that mech and eliminated. Stellar pushing forward, building up towards that rally, but might not need it. Undyne tries to get in onto the point, has that Transcendence rolling through, but O2 Ardian will not be hindered. They push forward, they take down Oberon, they're looking for more, they're looking for the finish, and they're going to get it. A good time buy overall from MVP Space. They drain the clock down to 57 seconds, but now they have to go on the assault. They have to have a very strong attack.
It's a very, again, I want to use this word, I feel it's a humiliating loss of point A and the first two ticks to a support player that everyone respects in this league based on his counter Sombra play last season, his ability to get solo kills on the Zenyatta, his ability to build Transcendence through his left-click accuracy, but also because he was originally a DPS player and he was fantastic at the Widow that he's famous for, but he plays Zenyatta. In this moment, they run a Sombra solo support composition with Violet flexing to the Widow and are smashed and destroyed. It wasn't even close. There was no hope. They were shut down. Sombra was killing the Orisa, building free EMP charge for a follow-up push. They're lucky that they defended that third tick. It was very close to them actually just getting double push there.
Yeah.
Mentality-wise, MVP Space has got to be a bit shattered here. The Dragon Blade completely shut down. Yaki was killed several times. He held that blade for so long, mostly because he died before he could use it when it was ideal to do so. So, you know, down 0-2, they have to get the full push here in order to win it. It's going to be tough to kind of shake that. You know, you don't see that every day where a secondary support switches to the attack Widow with a Sombra coming through when she's no longer meta. It just feels like they just respect MVP Space, and MVP Space just couldn't stand up to it. We saw Attune finally stabilize them on B. It will be at least shown to be this triple tank Widow with Lucio, Moira for sustainability that we saw a lot from GC Busan Wave on the attack versus the Junkrat Peel with Orisa. Very standard defense from Ardian. So the Junkrat going to be helpful here, but if the tanks can get on top of the Orisa, Yakpung is not going to be long for this world, especially with the Roadhog right clicks. and potential hooks. Nice halt.
I'm going to be denying away that trap. And you can see here, Yakfeng and Co. going to have to be wrapping around back over towards the point as MVP Space just keeps pressuring that left-hand side on the assault. Stellar spamming out, nearly has a Riptire ready to go. 18% more is about. There we go. We'll have that one. That can completely shut down MVP Space's push if they don't do something about it. Yaki going in for the wraparound, but they spot him out. He takes a couple shots, so they know that this Roadhog is above and behind them. Coalescence in from Undyne. First take coming through now for MVP Space, but Climax manages to find a tune of the Riptire. Will come out. They kite it back. He's going to be bringing this one around the backhand side. He finds both supports, and just like that, MVP Space, everybody's going to crumble.
Yaki.
Bianca knocked out of that mech as well.
Yaki's just going to be staggered here, very likely. He's out in the anti-gravity, or low gravity, I should say.
Goodbye.
Anti-gravity. Okay, so that's a bit of a stagger. This is already looking pretty horrible for MVP Space. Look at the support ultimates. That's the biggest tell that this did not go well. Like, they couldn't even really heal because they were blown up by that Riptire, which was built so quickly because it's designed to counter. The Junkrat's so cool in this, because it counters dive because you peel and you use the concussive mines, the satchel charge to knock them away, and it's very easy to kind of set that up. And also, you build Riptire so fast against triple tank, quad tank. It's a very catch-all. This fuse is taken out here. So O2 Ardian just blows through half the time bank in an instant. Still has arguably ult advantage, especially in terms of the supports of the fuse dying again.
But they got a tick, Wolf.
All right.
It was worth it all.
Yaki's whole hog as well, the closest ultimate they have, is probably the most useless next to Infrasight.
They just have to do that 5 more times and then they complete the map. But Riptire coming down with a nice fire strike from Oberon. Actually takes that one out. Would love to see a first-person perspective from that.
Okay, Violet's out too. This is their chance. This has to be it.
Oh, Tune. Climax trading out. Climax going to be dangerously low. The pocket not going to be fast enough. Fuse actually finishes him off. Bongo going to be dropped in right behind the barrier. And Attune will be able to snipe that one down, so MVP Space in onto the point. Should be able to get this cap, and that's going to give him about 5.5 minutes on the clock. Yaki uses the whole hog, will get taken out, Stellar taken down. It's going to be an exchange coming through, and now with this many members dead, MVP Space, they have ultimates. Can they just rush in and try to snowball cap this?
This is what they should go for. They have the Infrasight as well. They have the Vision of Entity, all hero swaps right now, as well as everyone's respawn location. Attune is using it well. This is their chance, this is their opportunity. They have the sound barrier to force it as well, to get Oberon into position to get the perfect shatter. This is their ideal moment. They're hesitating though. Okay, Oberon's in position.
Has the shield up, the barrier going low, bubble thrown down, and Violet snipes out Undyne.
Great shatter!
Catches 3 members, looking for the kill there on the Rain, finds both healers, and the self-destruct gets rid of Stellar. And just like that, MVP Space might just be getting the snowball cap pulled off. Everybody dead. Humbaba swapping over. Gets back in onto the Neva. You can see the tagging from Climax, just trying to buy some time. They push in onto the point. Stun coming through from the charge. Need to get this one in contention, but they can't do it. O2 Ardian.
Very
snowballed on so damn hard. 428 on the finish.
Very, very well played.
This game just got interesting.
Yeah, the very, very slow capture of point A. Well, they did it without their ultimates. So when we see this happen, the double cap, it's always an ult disadvantage situation where the defending team uses their ults because they think they could secure the defense on A. They're trying to stagger it and hold it. They're trying to get the full hold. They're being greedy.
Yeah, that's a great drawing.
And they end up losing out on the... They win in the short term, they buy a little bit of time, but they lose in the long term because the tanks come through with support ultimates, or sorry, well, they had the support ultimates, but they had the Earth Shatter, which was escorted by the Lucio speed boost. He gets into position, hits the fat shatter there, and in the longer fight where the respawns are coming through, the sound barrier is there, they survive, they sustain through all the damage that's coming out with the respawns coming in one after time as Climax like jumps onto the point alone, trying to buy time. So massive advantage to MVP Space, quick thinking, really good understanding of what tools they had to take point B. They didn't hesitate. And they made it happen, all in the back of Oberon's shatter. So this is definitely a game that it's going to be tough now for O2 Ardian to close out. So like you said, the series got a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, MVP Space showing some signs of life here on their Horizon map pick. 428, a massive time bank that O2 Ardian will soon have to defend against here as they go on the Assault. Stellar yet again back in over onto this Sombra, but yeah, he's like, I'm not going to go in there. Yaki has already killed Climax, as I assume he dashed into a trap after taking a bit of damage from a nade.
Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable explanation. Protected Achilleos. I think you're right on that one. Undyne, Brigitte flank here set up. This is a a support Brigitte more than a tank, and that's just going to be used for some flanking here and some burst heals.
Climax and Stellar wrapping around in onto the backside.
Undyne the target. He's found.
Yeah, sprayed down to about half HP.
Can't heal
take
himself.
it out yet. Yeah, dashes over to the side here. Does Stellar. Keeps himself alive in the fight. In the meantime, dive coming through. Yakfeng takes out Yaki. Attune dangerously low. Jumps up into the air. Manages to get a snipe in onto Climax, actually. Eliminates him. Gets one on the Violet. MVP space. Might just be able to hold this one off without surrendering a single tick. Maybe they can win a map. Kills come in through. Climax trades one back in onto Attune, but Rain is going to be dead. O2 already need to get in onto the point. Climax dashes through, trying to buy some time. Has the pulse bomb ready. Tosses that one out. Gets rid of Yaki, but kills himself with the explosion. And the minute on the clock is not going to do anything. And now O2 already have to force a tie.
That they do, and it's not going to be easy with the time bank we're looking at here for MVP space. And I think that, as history has shown, when you have the advantage in time bank on 2CP or on, the point A capture of hybrid, that's the game decider, you could just run the triple tank or the quad tank and kind of crash onto the point a few times, and eventually you will have enough ults to take the one tick you need. So that's what they did to take the point A, which snowballed again into a point B capture, the double cap. Will O2RD expect this? I think the answer to that is obviously yes, but will they change their composition to counter it? It's tough to say, because the Widow is obviously a little bit tougher to use versus the quad tank, or the triple tank, depending on which variation we see. And the Junkrat's still strong. They need to hold and be more efficient. It's a tough ask. What's shown now, though, is the Genji Tracer dive, which is going to be, I think, a little bit less effective in the long term with the 4.5-minute timing. Like, if they keep using this, it's not going to trade up as well. But they have time to switch comps,
Going for the double whammy here. Trap charge and poison as well.
Yeah.
Just to afflict you with as many things as humanly possible.
That'll kill a Winston that's been armored by Brigitte.
Yeah. I don't know about that. That would be impressive and broken as hell.
Well, they're going to sneak around.
Oh, Attune, he didn't fall for the trap. Oh, and he's spotted it out. What a surprise.
Well, he's going to try to flank. He's obviously been spotted, but we still have to keep track of the main attack as well as his flank.
Always check your corners, boys and girls. Back cap coming through. Attune's going to have to be dealt with, which means the Diva's going to be coming in. Attune falling low. It's a recall off. Yaki finds a pick there onto Violet. Stellar going to die as Yaki finds a double kill. They'll leap over. They'll get rid of Climax. Yaki with the triple. And that should just be it as they pile in onto the point. The tanks remaining, but Humbaba out of the mech. Yakfeng going to die. And MVP Space will extend this series to keep their hopes alive. O2 Ardian will have their first map pick of Season 2. But they just need that one final win to still walk away with a 3-1 victory.
MVP Space's Eichenwald pick felt it felt like it was a comfort pick. It was a map they felt experienced on, and it's a map that they've had a lot of success on historically. But the map of Horizon was more strategic. They ran multi-tank, they went for the double push once they had those ult advantages. And on the attack here, they were able to do exactly what we saw WGS try to do on Hanamura in their match against X6. The back cap to draw the Orisa Widow aggression away. Then the Diva dive coming up with the Genji. You burst down those tanks on the high ground while they're dealing with the Tracer. And Tracer has recall. So there's almost no way the Tracer dies. The Tracer recalls to a safe location, gets her health back, and looks for the fight while cooldowns are wasted, while attention is pulled away. And it feels like it's an obvious thing, like, oh, of course he's just trying to bait us with the Tracer. But when you only have one tick and you're dead, you have to respond, you have to get on that Tracer. And it's much easier, I think, as the observer, as the spectator, to say, well, this is very obviously a trap, this is very obvious what's going on. But in the heat of the moment, Tracer very quickly draws the attention away, then the dive comes through. Very well played by MVP Space here.
Yeah, wonderfully done. Go for the map pick. Of course, they didn't really get to talk about it too much, but obviously, now that the map's over, everybody, I'm sure you noticed, going to be the old Horizon Lunar Colony. We don't have the updated one here. We do have Rialto, but we don't have the updated Horizon yet. Maybe we'll get to that later in the season. Not
Probably.
sure. But yeah, so we'll be playing out the older one, which is maybe why we haven't seen as many teams pick it, and maybe why this was the selection for MVP. Maybe they thought this was going to be a bit of a curveball if the scrims were coming through from O2 Arena, or if the players are playing so much on the ladder that they're used to the new map now. Not sure. Either way, they come up with the win in pretty dominant fashion after that very slow push into the snowball on point A. It was wonderfully done by them, but they still need to win one more map. It's going to be O2's map selection for Escort. Have to see where they're going to take us, but ball's in their court. They played a bit disrespectfully there on Horizon Lunar Colony.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to regret that choice as well to a certain extent.
They could be one of the only teams going up, 8-0 at the end of the first week here if they could have taken that one away, because X6 versus Metabellum theoretically should be a pretty close series, so there's an opportunity there for Metabellum to get some maps away from X6. So they could have been the clear-cut leader in the standings. Now, at least going to be a 3-1, but a potential opportunity for this to be tied up and have to be, have a tie broken on Ilios.
That kill right there from Attune is what got them the defense. He was able to get a second one as well, but he flanked. That was a moment where things were starting to snowball against MVP Space, and Attune was like, let's get back in here. Let's actually keep our heads on us, keep our heads about us. And came in there and got that flanking kill onto the Widow. So very well played there, and I don't want to put the real burden onto, this was the shatter that ended it all, the triple there. I don't want to put the burden onto the, I don't even want to say troll picks, but the showboating of O2 Arena on attack, because whether they got a great timing or not is irrelevant, because their defense was so lackluster, especially there in the end against what MVP Space was running. So, it's definitely something where you felt great about the beginning, when you felt great about A, and you were like, we're doing this, and then suddenly things got turned on their heads. Yeah, Yaki is the best. I believe in MVP there on that sign to the left. She's showing it.
She gave like the Vanna White.
Yeah, she did the Vanna White.
Like, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's a vowel.
And this guy disagrees. He thinks Yaki's better.
Yep, another Yaki fan.
I said guy, but I can't actually tell. The dog on the sign looks like a guy, so,
Yeah,
that's what I was referring to
okay.
mostly. This guy's like, no, Yaki's better.
But yeah, just waiting for Ivy to get settled back into the booth here after being subbed in over Stellar yet again. And probably a good decision. The team looking much more coordinated with Ivy on the roster. Stellar didn't really add that much for O2 Ardian here. It's no longer the Sombra meta. So still trying to shoehorn that into your composition. Didn't really work out so well for them.
I think the Sombra was really cool. Like, it was used well, and it helped burst down the Orisa from like a kind of unexpected angle. Used the translocator to get in there, then used it as an escape, and they built for an EMP, so they wanted the double cap with that, obviously. And I say that they were showboating, but that's not entirely true, because in order to flex this, you need Ivy to be playing you need someone else to be playing the Widow, so Ivy's of course subbed out here. They needed Violet to play the Widow. He can, so the comp is like specifically because Violet's actually good at Widow works out, kind of. It's not standard, but like it was a cool idea. But they were definitely trying to, first of all, say this is possible, we can do this. And we want to show it here against a weaker opponent, MVP Space. But at the same time, they were trying to brag and boast a little bit. So it's a little bit of both. It backfires. We're heading to Rialto.
Oh, baby. Okay, so we get to see this one yet again. Rialto coming through as O2 Ardian's map selection. We'll see how prepared MVP Space is.
This is part of the reason we say Ivy sub back then, no doubt, because it's a Pharah map. It wasn't always back when it was first released, but in this new meta it certainly is. This is where Kongdu Panthera had full control in their series just a few days ago. And I think that this is what O2 Ardian is hoping to achieve here as well. Let's keep a close eye on the difference between what Yaki fires at versus what Ivy fires at in the Pharah matchup, because that's something I pointed out on Eichenwald. It's a little bit stylistically different.
Just a bit. Well, 2-1 right now here for O2 Ardiant. Need this win to close the series. MVP, one more, and we will have another full 5-map match coming through.
A lot more close series this season so far than we ever had.
Yeah, we had
season.
so many one-sided ones, and you know the beginning of this looked extremely one-sided. It's still only an hour and 18 minutes into this match. If Rialto is an utter stomp here for O2 Ardiant, still going to be one of the fastest matches that we will have. But MVP, they are showing these signs of life, and we'll go ahead and take a look as O2 Ardiant comes out on the attack. Ivy back over onto that trusty Pharah.
Yeah, it's going to be mirrored. This is the meta in Korea right now, as we've come to know on this map. The Pharah Widow mirror on both sides with the Zarya.
Well, good start there for Climax. Finds a shot onto a Tune. And now we can get this deep wraparound flank coming in from the right-hand side of MVP space, looking for those shots. Tune res back in, but Ivy finds Undyne. Fuse probably wishing that he had held on to that res. Ivy tries to go deep, but he actually just gets taken right out of the sky. Climax will fall as well. Yaki will be taking him out. We'll trade right back in onto a Tune. O2 Ardiant, though, maybe halted for the moment as Yakpung will fall. Humbaba going low, trying to kite his way back to stay alive.
Bianca's kind of stuck out here a little bit away from his team. Ivy's just trying to build ult charge right now, and again, going for the tanks initially until he's contested by the Widow. Yaki taken out by Climax, all alone here in perfect line of sight. Will be rezzed.
Yeah, res going to be available, and you can see though the tank ult's going to be much better off for MVP space, though as they say that Oberon will get taken down. And no res out here from Fuse yet, but Bianca going to be a bit closer to this Graviton Surge, but as he pushes up, he'll just get taken down. Violet comes up with yet another kill.
It's that defender's advantage, you know, that MVP Space has. That's why their tanks are able to do more consistent damage. They get to attack first, they get to poke first with Humbaba's right clicks, for example. Bianca's right clicks versus Humbaba. That's why he's 20% up right now. But it's going to be pretty competitive either way. Like O2 Ardiant's about to have theirs. Here's the Shatter.
Shatter
nice
coming
angle.
down. Nice little flip to the side. Manages to catch Humbaba, but that is it. The shield was up from Yakpung. Good block overall. There's no follow-up to get rid of the Zarya. MVP Space losing out on 3 members on that push. Still under fire. Yaki going to go down. Humbaba taking him out. And O2 Ardiant going to be moving forward relatively unhindered so far.
And the biggest thing is they win the fight and they lose, and MVP Space loses the Shatter. So it's a really good trade up here for O2 Ardiant. They use the support ultimates to make sure this happened. But as the attacker, it feels great to say you have the ult advantage in terms of your tanks, because that's how you set the attack. That's how you break choke points. The supports allow you to survive the defender's ultimates. Then you can break choke points with your own. Even if they have the support ultimates to counteract it, you still have the advantage. You have the healing from the cart on top of everything else. So the payload even helps you out here. It acts as somewhat of a barrier for you.
I mean, the biggest issue that I see right now is as they go ahead, they throw this one down, the shield will be there, but they don't really have much to combo with, but they still manage to come over the kills just with raw aggression.
Yeah, and
that was going to be my
there.
concern. I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to follow up, but they do so very well. Good job to MVP Space. Yaki now having the barrage about ready to go.
They had the barrier placed onto Oberon, so not only did he get the charge off, but he was able to do tons of swing damage just with his left click. So he builds up to 60% of another Shatter off this fight alone, basically.
That was great from them.
Yeah, they really did. Even though they didn't have a great tools, they made use of what they had very well.
Ivy hitting the ground, the most dangerous place here for Pharah, but while he dips down, evading these shots from Yaki, he manages to just tag in and get rid of a Tune. Nice maneuvering from him. Barrage still set and ready. He's going to try to jump into the back here, does Yaki, but now he's in a bit of an awkward spot.
Yaki's
the hits in onto the Widow, but Climax says, oh, you're here? Okay.
Where's he going, man? He's just going to go into the building and try to hope to fight everyone by himself. The fight was lost away from him. Now O2 Ardiant has the big 6. And they can use the Infrasight to actually set up a nice angle. This is not good. MVP Space cannot lose more members, so they're just going to give this point up for free against the big 6. O2 Ardiant has everything they could ever want to contest this point. All that MVP Space has is the Barrage and the Shatter. If they can get a big one, that's what Oberon is looking for. Knows his angle here. He's trying to get to the side of Yakpung for the play. Fails.
Come down, and Oberon yet again just throws that Shatter straight into the shield. Barrage finds 3. O2 Ardiant 0.6 away. You go ahead, roll this in. 3:45 on the clock. On the final stretch, MVP Space. They have a barrage of their own, but Bianca, he's still going to be 35% away from that next graph. Might need that for the Wombo combo.
A lot of people are going to say that Shatter's a big fail Shatter, and he definitely shouldn't have unleashed it. But they were so desperate to contest, they had to do something. He tried to get into position. He was hoping that he would get lucky. He was literally hoping he would get lucky with that Shatter and the shield would go down. Because he was hoping that basically Yakpung would be like, there's no way he tries it here. That would be so stupid. Yep. That's basically what he was hoping for. If it works, they defend, but it doesn't. The barrage was perfect to follow up. And now Jordan still with an ult advantage.
Well, Barrage coming down, finds one, but Climax immediately takes his head off, and the res should be there. Yep, Yakpung going to be brought back in by Rain. Bianca too far forward, just now gets the grab available, but there's no Barrage to couple with it, so they need another massive just damage output coming through naturally from the members, as they don't have ultimates to couple with it. And the cart is just getting dangerously close now with over 2.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Oberon pushing forward, no Shatter to speak of. Toss that one out in a very silly fashion, as you said. The shield's up, Bubbles in. They manage to find Violet. Oberon going down, but Yakpung and Ivy will also get taken out. O2 Ardiant going to be held at bay here for the moment as they try to get a nice delay in onto Humbaba. He's cutting his way back. That shield's coming through. Seems like he might just be safe in the end.
Bianca's got to be careful. He doesn't have a lot of energy. There's not much to trade up with going out that far. He does get healed up by Fuse. In terms of the next Shatter, Oberon's got one available soon. And look, I'm not actually really trying to make fun of the guy. I mean, it was actually smart given the scenario. Like, it was a really high risk and low chance of reward. But if he hits it, it works out. But obviously he didn't in this case. Ivy has the ability to sneak behind him and toss this barrage. He's not going to do that through Dragon Strike, but now he might actually try to concussive his way over that shield. Let's see how he approaches here.
He saw that the bubble protection.
Here we go.
Down. That's going to be the grab in right over the top. The barrage coming through. Will manage to help take down two, but Attune is able to go ahead and get rid of the enemy Pharah. Still going to be spamming away, but he is under fire. Humbaba pushing forward. High energy here. 93. Just zipping him down. Rips the Hanzo apart. They'll go ahead, they'll get Yaki. That's effectively going to be the team wipe coming through, and O2 Ardian are able to get the completion here on Rialto eventually.
They just had ult efficient fights the entire way through, and it felt like in a few ways MVP Space were trying to, they were playing as if they were the attackers, they were the aggressors, attacking into a payload that's being shoved, that has better defensive positioning for O2 as they come through. They were just kind of operating around the payload, which is how you play this map and most escort maps in this meta. And so some of their ults just didn't end up doing anything. Some of the ults we were seeing from Bianca coming through just didn't catch really anybody, or they didn't have any follow-up damage, minus that one fight where Oberon was able to pop off when he had the shield on him.
Yeah, the other ones from Oberon especially, not great. The first Shatter that we saw, just having to pivot to the side just to get Humbaba, did not go down, and then the other one, the last one, just throwing it straight into the shield. It felt like a bit of maybe reverse psychology coming through from Yakpung. He was yelling like, "You're not going to shatter me right now." He's like, "Oh yes, I will."
I mean, that's basically the first Shatter was countered by, like, even though Humbaba was caught, like, they ended up using both support ultimates, but they won the fight off of that, and then they had their attacking Shatter and their attacking grab surge, which is better for the attacking team than it is for the defending team in most cases, depending on how far forward you're playing. And if you're playing as far forward as MVP Space was, then it's not good to be that aggressive because there's no plan B. You're kind of stuck out there. If you commit to the Shatter, you get caught.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, Oberon Shatter is what won them Horizon. I mean, straight up. Like, the guy is a good Reinhardt player. And in fact, he's an OG from back in the old Reinhardt meta, back in Apex. Like, he's been around a long time. But
I forget what his old name was. I always forget.
He did change it at some point.
He was on, was it Rhinos?
I believe so, or maybe BK Stars.
We'll
it's been a while.
He was on one of those squads, one of the ones that never had that much success. But here we go. O2 Ardian now on the defense. No surprise.
Mirrored comps again.
It's still just going to be the mirrored comps. I'm telling you, if you go through the right flank as the attacker, as a Bastion, you usually catch your team off guard in solo queue for strats.
He was on BK Stars.
Okay, yeah, BK. So season 1, okay, and then a lot of fall off.
Yeah, having some trouble. I mean, there's a lot of players that came from BK Stars, Flash Lugs. He also played for temporarily that find a lot of success today. Bunny, one of the more famous ones. Bernard as well, who's gone on to do bigger things outside of Korea. But And Fleta, of course, as everyone remembers from Flash Luck, should always have to come from the greatest background to go to the greatest destination.
Oh, Attune going in for the deep flank, but you can see that O2 is prepared for this one. They know exactly how the Widow wants to play, but Ivy's like, oh wait, hang on, let me reload real quick. It's taken down, but he actually lands the rocket! Oh my god! That was one of the oddest and just best moments that we've had so far.
That happens with projectiles sometimes, you know? Happens with the Fire Strike. I mean, everyone's died as Reinhardt, where you're like, ha, still got it.
That is, I mean, we've seen the 1v1 exchange kills coming through from, you know, dueling Zenyatta's before and stuff like that, but the rocket after the Widow gets the headshot is just next level.
Not happening this time for Yaki, sadly.
Yeah, no, didn't have that rocket ready to go. That one wasn't in the air, and I think Climax probably would have had enough time to move out of the way. Tune taking a bit of damage there as he pops up, and Yaki,
that shot was so sexy.
welcome back. Okay, Wolf's going for the, you're calling it sexy.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
Oh my god. I lost my voice.
We know what Wolf's into, but looking for another one here. Doesn't take the shot though. Kite's back, but you can see he just knows. He sees that the flank is coming around, just rotates over. Ivy Barrage nearly ready to go.
Okay, he's looking to build it here. He's just over the top of the cart, uncontested right now. Climax has been winning out in the Pharah battle, so he's just free damage. This is how you use it. You want to use it defensively like this.
Down a half. The bubble's going to be coming through though, and not going to be finding anything for that. Shatters the Transcendence out from Undyne. So good mitigation coming through from the side of MVP space. I was going to say they had a shatter opening, but now they do not, because Oberon, he uses it as he dies. Ivy shutting him out, just like that. Both Reinhardts going to be effectively useless with their ultimates, but Oberon still able to go ahead and get the kill in onto Attune.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think the concussive blast like actually messed up what he was trying to do with the shatter, so it kind of like knocked him away. But yeah, that's the kind of shatter you want to use on defense, where you let the enemy come to you like Yakpung did. It was countered by a good bubble and the Transcendence came out, so it didn't end up being like a 6-man shatter, but that's the kind of shatter I think that Oberon should have been using on that last defense.
Well, Climax finds yet another hit. Humbaba waiting with the Graviton Surge. Does he want to toss it? Nope, he waits for the moment. Knows that there's no D.Va, so there's nothing to chew up this Grav.
It's basically wherever he wants it, he gets it. It could be countered by Bianca's follow-up, you know, and then they're both stuck right next to each other, but that's the only counter.
Oh, okay. Tune manages to find that shot, but Rain could just probably kite over it.
Nice angle,
Bring
actually.
him back up.
I really like the flank from Attune here. It's risky, but it's going to pay off here. They get Rain.
Okay, Yaki does find Rain. And now MVP Space can finally push forward, get closer to this point A, where there's just 30 seconds remaining, but Ivy starting with a pop-off. Barrage ready to go.
Thought he might have dropped it there. He had a good angle, but he knew it was being watched.
Direct hit coming through. Trying to get healed back up. Grab comes in. Barrage from the side. They didn't see it coming, and Climax just going to be scooping up 3 of those finishing blows. And where it was looking good for MVP Space for a moment, they might be getting full held here with 10 seconds remaining on the clock.
I feel like
not sure if they can make this happen.
The meta on this map is like probably the most basic viewing experience ever. You're just like, okay, there's the combos. They're all there.
Yeah. Shoot the guy. Put the barrage with the grab.
Yeah.
Don't tag the payload. GG. Yeah, no one can get there in time.
Wow, what a one-sided match. The understanding of Yakpung versus Oberon. Like again, Oberon, a very storied career in Overwatch, and it started out as a Reinhardt, struggled more on the Winston, most would argue, but in this matchup straight up with Yaki adding so much extra pressure from the air, from Ivy adding so much pressure from the air and Yaki losing out in the Pharah duels and losing out to Climax. When the DPSs are winning on Rialto this hard, you know, you're having to angle your shield in so many different ways, you're struggling to you know, stay alive.
He's got a second sign. But
you're struggling to stay alive as the Reinhardt, and it's just tough. You know, we had a rough time on the Reinhardt, and I think it's very tempting, you know, for the fans on the internet to say like Oberon was terrible in that game, but that's just simply not true. The DPSs were so good, and Yakpung was better, so he just had a really tough time staying in position, getting the right earth shadows off. He's being blasted around by Pharah, getting concussive shot. He's being grab surged. You know, he died to that barrage not because he wasn't holding his shield the right way, but because he was in a grab surge. It's they just got outclassed mechanically and coordination-wise here. It's not individual mistakes from MVP, it's just the lack of coordination.
I'm not going to lie, at the end of that full hold, I forgot that O2 already pushed, and they had made it all the way to the end. I felt like there was more. It was just so flat ending.
It's all right, man. Sometimes
just,
one-sided series happen that way.
Yeah, it was just so one-sided on Rialto that it just felt like it wasn't even over yet, but it was beyond over. O2 Ardian close it out. MVP managed to get the win on Horizon, but that's about it. So 3-1 victory going over to those guys. And you know, there's a lot of players on O2 that I think you could make a very solid argument for the MVP of this game. Ivy, excellent so far. Rain, his movement on the Mercy was also quite good. Violet. Some great kills coming through from him on the Zenyatta, as well as building up the Transcendences quickly. But also Humbaba, who I think that we can now start calling Hunbaba, because he had a fantastic Zarya coming through there. The Graviton Surges never had a relatively poor one. They were always pretty impactful. He was building them up and was always maintaining high energy, typically over 90. There's so many to choose from here in this game.
Yeah, the MVP is actually chosen by the writer, who's been following Overwatch forever, and all of the casters vote as well. But I forgot to vote today, so
I put mine in after Horizon, but I actually did alter it. I made a slight little change. We'll see if I got my selection, if that was the pick. But yeah, I mean, what more can you say? O2 Ardian, we kind of figured that this was going to be a one-sided series, maybe the 4-0, but Horizon not as prepared for that as we might have thought. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights here from Rialto, with that full hold coming out after the 3-point push.
Yeah, I mean, this was the really great opportunity for Oberon to get big damage done. You can see he got bubbled there, and it like disappeared in a second, but it still allowed him to do what he needed to do. And here's the barrage. We saw follow-up right afterwards in this choke. And, you know, Oberon, he just had a rough time keeping up, obviously, because he was constantly in CC. Like, he was in crowd control half the game. It felt like.
Yeah, thank God we get to see this again.
Yes, let's watch this one more time. So well predicted.
He just bounced off the wall.
He knew he was going to die, and he predicted where the Widow was going to grapple. Like, insane understanding of the game at that level.
Yeah, it just seemed like every time there was a grab, Ivy just had a barrage waiting in his inventory, ready to go, tossed it out, and just consistently shut down MVP space that way. So it was really well done from them. But we're going to get ready to go ahead and throw over to that MVP interview so we can find out which of us was right, or maybe both of us are wrong. You never know. There's 6 players to choose from. We both chose a different player.
I think no matter what, like, we're all right, because whoever ends up kind of winning the MVP vote from the weighted writer and, of course, all of us is, like, definitely the MVP, right? Everyone kind of agreed via voting, so I'm never going to, like, disagree with the MVP.
Like
we had a few MVPs last season, though, that I didn't vote on when I was like, I don't know, but